Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Huatli, Poet of Unity. For 2 colors and 1 green, she's a legendary creature, human warrior bard, 2/3. With when Huatli, Poet of Unity enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and 3 colorless, 2 red-white hybrid, exile Huatli, then return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. On the flip side, she's a saga called Roar of the Fifth People that has 4 chapters. The first one says create 2 3/3 green dinosaur creature tokens. The second chapter says Roar of the Fifth People gains creatures you control have tap, add red, green, or white. The third chapter searches your library for a dinosaur card, reveals it, and puts it into your hand, then shuffles. And the 4th chapter says dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample until end of turn. So that is an absolute mouthful of a card, and it took me so long to read it. It does so many different things that it's kind of hard to evaluate, but I'll give it a try anyway. To start off, I think the front side is better than people are giving it credit for so far. Searching up for a land and putting it into your hand is often really good, particularly if you're stuck on lands or if you have a land light opener. This makes your hands that much keepable. It also is just essentially drawing you a card, so it's basically a 2/3 with an ETB that draws you a card. That's a card you would play all the time, no doubt about it. And then it has a bunch of other decent abilities. So the fact that it can just be flipped for 5 mana without any conditions seems a bit weird to me. We don't usually see these kind of flip conditions, but fair enough. Maybe that's the way they're going to be doing it in this set. I think it is a very reasonable cost considering that you immediately get 2 3/3 bodies when you flip it. And obviously if you're playing this, you're going to have a deck that is centered somewhat around dinosaurs. So yeah, I think 5 mana just for that would already be pretty decent. The second chapter on the card is not that great. Giving creatures you control an ability to tap for color can ramp you a little bit, but it's also a little bit ineffective in certain board states. I suppose the idea is that you already have those 2 dinosaurs, so at the very least you're going to be tapping for 2 mana, but tapping down your 3/3s doesn't really feel great unless you're ramping into something really good. So this one is going to vary depending on what kind of deck you're playing. In a heavy token build, this second ability could be really good, but it's not very reliable and it does require 2 turns to pass with the saga and you to have played Huatli and flipped her, so it's not exactly reliable. The third chapter, searching for a dinosaur and putting it into your hand, is pretty solid. Tutors are always good in Commander, and if you're running a dinosaur deck, there are quite a few toolboxy dinosaurs that you can run, so this seems quite good in that context. And then the 4th chapter is going to give dinosaurs you control double strike and trample until end of turn. That's a great way to finish the game. If you ever get to this chapter, you're probably going to win. However, that's probably 5 turns down the line, unless you have any way to accelerate the saga or proliferate. That means that it's going to take a long time and your opponents are going to have so much time to see this coming. So for me, even though this card is quite cool, I think it's lacking a little bit of identity. It's doing a little bit too many things. The front side seems to want to be included in a ramp deck or a lands matters deck because it's going to be searching up for lands. The same seems true about the second chapter, which kind of wants you to ramp or be playing tokens. So both of those are very in like big green kind of effects. But then the other 3 seem to just be based around dinosaurs straight up, so you're going to have a deck that has a bunch of dinosaurs, that is capable of making some tokens, and that wants to be specifically ramping and tapping down its creatures in order to ramp. That's a lot of different things. Now, of course, you don't need all the abilities to be super relevant to the deck, but you do probably need to build around all of them to some degree. That makes me feel that it's going to be a little bit too narrow, basically. I also don't really like that she doesn't flip herself back like the Praetors. I guess we got used to that, but obviously it's not always going to be the case. But it does feel bad that she's basically going to die if you flip her eventually after 4 turns. I do think the front side is really good, just as a generic good stuff card. It can be good in a lot of different decks, and as long as you have a little bit of dinosaur synergy or a little bit of token synergy, then the front side is probably going to make it so you'll probably want to include this in your deck. So yeah, not entirely sure how to evaluate this one. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments section below. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comments section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!